پای داداشمو شکوندی
آره.
پاش شکسته؟
کمک پکه کن بگیر
Are these the girls I'm trying to get away from?
woman
Security on set.
What are you even doing?
Oh, shoot کردیم? Now they're all coming over.
Oh my God, this is
We shouldn't have done it here.
It's got.
آقا, we're running.
Oh, okay.
Hey, everyone else is distracted. I can't get a moment.
Professional.
حالا stop from behind the coffee boy. Pay the union, man.
So you probably are wondering, what the hell did that video have anything to do with a speaker test? Well, in order to explain that, I need to go back about 2 weeks. When this speaker was about to come out before its release, Tribit Stormbox Pro, I had an opportunity to get a sample unit and go ahead test it. And then one of the viewers had a comment on that video that made me think if this is the best way and the correct way to do a speaker test. This user, NewFNShow031, said, an audio test over YouTube is completely pointless. There is no way this sounds better than the Flip 5. I don't care what this ad says. I tested 3 of their speakers and they all sucked. Also broke within 2 months. So I highly doubt this is magically different. Just hearing you say massive bass for a product you never used, this is basically a commercial. Who wants to charge a speaker for 7 hours? LOL. Look, despite the negativity in that comment, there are actually some truth into what he's saying, right? Because how can you truly hear what I hear? There's a lot that goes into this, right? On my end, I do the best I can. My microphone and my recorder is one of the best you can get for its price. It's almost $1,200 worth of equipment just to record the sound. So I know on my end, I can record very accurate sound. But the problem is when I upload into YouTube, the YouTube compression is going to impact it. And then on your end, depends on how you're listening to the audio. Are you using some hi-fi headphones or are you using the speakers on your phone? The other point was he made a reference about this particular speaker. So then I had this idea to try to do a speaker test with similar price points. So I got the Flip 5, which I think is also $120. This is $120. And then the UE Boom 3, which retails for $150, but typically at Best Buy, you may be able to pick one up for $130. So very similar price point. They're all also waterproof. They also have very similar size and shape. So I figured I'll just go and do a test. But I wanted to take that feedback and make this a little bit more meaningful. As part of that test, I wanted to do a few things. The first thing was I want to accurately and scientifically measure its loudness. So I got a dB meter and I figured I would just go ahead from the same distance. I measure all these 3 speakers. The second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to put the actual audio wave of these recorded songs on the screen, and that may be a good visual representation of how these speakers are. At the end of the day, we want to see which speaker sounds better. And I want to go ahead, get a blind test going and ask a few of my friends to say, hey, which speaker do you like the best? I was meeting a few of my friends at a park and I thought this is a great opportunity. So I took these speakers with me and that's what that happened. Everyone's having a little bit too much fun. Long story short, I did not get a chance to do the test and try to find out to see which one liked the speakers better. But I did not give up. And then I used a few of my family members. I played in my studio at 100% volume, same distance, same song. I got their opinion as well. I'm gonna do this comparison into 6 different categories, starting with the overall loudness, the overall bass loudness and bass quality, the overall sound quality, battery life, features, and design. Let's talk about the design. These 2 speakers, the Tribit and the UE Boom 3, they both are designed to be sitting vertically, where the JBL, while you can have it standing vertically, but it's designed to be sitting down horizontally. Like this one has a forward-facing speakers, but the Tribit and UE, they kind of have speakers in the front and back, so kind of give you that 360 listening experience. All 3, they have clicky buttons. The Tribit has this really nice carrying handle with it. Because of the shape of the Tribit, it seems a little bit more stable against the bumps versus this could easily fall. So functionality, when it comes to the design, I like the Tribit better. The only thing I like about the design of the UE better is kind of this mesh finish that it has. It looks a little bit more premium compared to the mesh that they have decided to use on the Tribit speaker. So it's a little bit subjective, but when it comes to the design, I would say it's a tie between the Tribit and the UE. Talking about the loudness, this is very straightforward. When I measured this song at 100% volume, the JBL came last at 76.7 dB. In second place, it was the UE Boom 3 at 97.9. And first place was the Tribit at 99.5 dB. So there's a clear winner when it comes to the loudness. Then talking about the bass, I was absolutely looking forward to compare the Tribit with the JBL Flip 5 based on that viewer's comments. But honestly, this came nowhere close and near the Tribit. So third place when it came to the bass for the JBL Flip 5. In the second place, I went back and forth and tested this with so many different songs. I tested it with hip hop, I tested it with house music, and all of them, the Tribit gave a much deeper and accurate bass based on my personal experience. Again, this may be subjective, but I genuinely think when it comes to the bass loudness with no distortion, I will have to give Tribit an edge, while the UE Boom 3 still sounded fantastic. And talking about the overall sound quality, so this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So the Tribit overall is the loudest and it gives the best bass, but the mids, where you get the vocals, they have kind of like a higher pitch to it, versus the UE, it gives you a little bit bassier mids, and it's a little bit more pleasing to ears, especially when you are very close to the speaker. So almost everybody that I asked them to go ahead listen to these speakers felt that the UE Boom 3 has a slight advantage over the Tribit, because while both of them give you very nice separation, this is a little bit pleasing, especially you have to listen to it at 100% volume, which is what I did all my tests at. So the overall sound quality, the Boom 3 will have to take it, and then second place, and then third place. When it comes to battery life, JBL claims this has a 12-hour battery life. UE claims this has a 15-hour battery life. Tribit claimed to have a 24-hour battery life. And honestly, comparing the weights, you can kind of see the battery sizes are reflected in the overall weight. JBL is the lightest at 1.2 pounds. Next is the UE Boom 3 at 1.3 pounds. And then finally, this big boy right here at a whopping 2.14 pounds. And the final category is the overall features. When it comes to features, all of them you can actually pair up to 2 speakers, except when it comes to UE Boom 3, with the app, you can connect up to 150 speakers. I don't know why you would need to do that, but the fact that you can, I think that's pretty fantastic. The app with the UE also comes with an equalizer, and you would have that control over, and the Tribit does not. And talking about the features, honestly, when you want to go ahead order one, the fact that you can customize everything from the color of the buttons, from the color of the mesh, the ring, and you can put custom text and font back here. Overall, when it comes to the features, I have to give it to the UE Boom 3. The only downside when it comes to the actual features and functionality of the UE Boom 3 is the fact that it charges using a micro USB versus the Tribit that uses USB Type-C. Sorry to interrupt, one more thing I forgot to mention. The JBL Flip 5 You can also connect this with 100 speakers at the same time. So I wanted to make sure I don't miss that. Back to the video. So this is gonna be really tough. As much as I rather avoid saying which one is the clear winner, it is gonna be a little bit subjective. I think it's safe to say that the JBL Flip 5 is nowhere near the sound quality, the bass loudness, the overall loudness of the audio compared to these two speakers. So I'm gonna put this aside. So this is gonna be a tough one. Between these two, which one is the clear winner? It's gonna be so difficult. So let's try to review it and then I will see if I can actually pick one. So this retails for $120. With coupons they have right now, it's about 70 bucks. This retails for $150. And at Best Buy, if you don't want to customize it, you can pick one up for $130. So it's almost double in price. So that's for the price. When it comes to the design, this looks a little bit more chic and classy, but this has a bigger subwoofer. This has a bigger battery, so you have better battery life, you have more bass, you have a little bit louder volume, but the overall sound quality, this is closer to a hi-fi sound versus this speaker. So if I absolutely have to force rank and select one, considering everything, price, features, battery, loudness, design, quality, I would have to give a slight edge to the Tribit. I know this is gonna probably create some controversy in the comments, but I genuinely would love to see what you guys think after listening to my opinion, as well as listening to some of the sample audio. I hope that this was helpful to some extent, maybe. I have the link to all these products down in the description below. I would love to hear if you guys own any of these three speakers, and is my opinion wrong, and do you agree or disagree with me? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.